I wish to acknowledge and welcome the Secretary General of the Assisi Conference, Musanyo. Welcome. We are honored to be with you here. Please take a seat and follow up with the next deliberations. I think I will attract a few of you who would like to make some reactions because from what you have said, maybe you would like to learn one or two things. Whoever wants to, you want to have a reaction to make to her speech? Whoever has something interactive.
Thank you very much, the moderator. May I take this opportunity protocol observe that at least I wanted to recognize the presence of the Archbishop, the Secretary General of the Council of the Episcopal Conference, the ministers, women and men at large. My question is to the President. She deliberated very well when she was giving us her remarks and brief. And what I picked in that, which I wanted to ask, they said there's a uniform which they want to make for the women of Uganda, and wherever they go, international or in the world. And then I'm saying, how about the men? If we are only looking at the women, can we have a way also how we can also join? Okay, Kaunda suit and Mandela shirts. Okay. Then also I would like to appreciate Madame Florence Lesgabo, because at least I've seen she has moved these things to the height. Because when she was starting this movement, she started when she was still in Christ the King parish, and by then it was our Archbishop, Grace Archbishop, who was the Monsignor by that time. I'm really very happy that this movement is taking height, is going international. Please, men, let's support the women. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's at least a reaction from the audience. Any more reaction? I'd like also to take this opportunity to welcome the General Manager. We want to welcome you, but formally, Mr. Kabanda, General Manager of the Bank, Central Bank. We are proud that you have come to honor this occasion. Now, as we progress, I would like to invite once again, this is Florence Lesgabo, to chip in something as we move to the next business, as well. You really want to emphasize business. Okay, thank you, Madam.
Thank you very much, Emma. I want again to observe the protocol. Monsignor, thank you for coming. And when you look at our cards, Monsignor Kalumba was also supposed to be here. But I want to remind you that Christ the King is a very big story today and tomorrow. He is all the time receiving visitors who want to see inside the church. Go there and see the news that is in the middle of the town. But I want to take this opportunity to thank Beatrice Lugalambe, our best friend. I will now call her our women's friend. Because of that presentation, we are emphasizing having some money at home in the household. And when we give that moment of interactive talks, that is how we used to do it. We have always brought somebody who knows that thing, that message that we want to pass across, to talk. After that person has presented, we encourage interactive talks. Now people ask the way you heard Ochola talking. Those days when we used to sit at Christ the King, there would be 5 or 3 people, but we would still sit. Now we are international. Doing that message, that formula of talking to people to improve, and then also people pour out their hearts asking questions about ABCD of what has been presented. Now, this wealth creation and having money and saving, I requested the bishops that we help women understand that at household we need something. So that when we ask for some money to do something, you sell what you have. And we said, let us zero no chicken. That each woman should have 5 chicken. All over the country, every household, the woman should have 5 birds. You may be saying, what are 5 birds here in town? But in the village there, we meet people who have never seen 1,000. For over 5 months, the woman has never seen 5,000. So we are encouraging that they keep the chicken and sell. And me, I always talk of this story. When I go to Kotido, Morotarua, and I tell them my story of the chicken my grandmother gave me. Many women now say, we use that story when we are teaching. When I was young, I visited my grandmother, and she gave me a chicken, a small bird. I came home, I kept that chicken. My brothers were saying, let's eat it. I said, no, this is my friend. I think I was in P1. I kept the chicken. Within a short time, I had 54 birds. And then my mother said, get a goat. This chicken are fattening the kitchen. Get a goat. So I changed some birds to a goat. My goat used to produce 2 every time it gave birth, it was 2. Within a short time, I got a cow. Under the supervision of my mother, I got a cow. By the time I went to senior 1, I had 5 cows. There came a man whose son wanted to marry, and he wanted cows. He came and approached my mother for my cows. They did a barter trade. He gave my mother a lot of land, and all the cows were handed for the marriage of a new wife. Now, my mother, that land was good for growing rice. And my mother had 2 plots in town. She was a teacher in Aga Khan, that side of ours. So I told her that you take the other land and you give me the 2 plots in town. So we wrote an agreement that she takes the other land, and for me, I take the 2 plots in town. Now, those 2 plots fall on present charismatic road. Even if you give me 50 million today for those 2 plots, it measures now 1 point something of 1 acre. Even if you give me 50 million today, I can't give you. But from 1 chicken, from my grandmother. So I tell women that if you are consistent and you don't entertain interruptions, you can get a lot from something small. So I have continued to love chicken and to love even cows. And I married my husband who also loves cows. And I have cows, and he has told me, you keep there. If you want to quarrel with people, have your own kraal. So I have my own cows. Because I grew up doing those things. And I love them because I know that it is very useful. So thank you very much, Beatrice, for teaching money. Me, I call it teaching money. It is very important to have money. When women don't have money, they are very angry. Yeah. Even at home, they attack everybody, they fight children. Yeah. Even they break plates. They shut their men who come late out. When there is no money, there is a lot of anger. Yeah. People turn so wild. So I'm saying that we have to teach our women to have some money. So that when you have your chicken, even one day you can slaughter your chicken, cook it, let it simmer and smell very well. When the man comes, you are serving chicken which he didn't buy, but you are still happy. So that is what we tell our women, that our approach is faith-based. We have to use our time at home to make everybody at home happy. So I still want to continue with our program. There are new people that I want to welcome, the community of St. Augustine in Wakiso. The teachers, please be upstanding. St. Augustine Wakiso. Those are my relatives. When I make alarm, they are there. When I make alarm, when I'm standing even in Palisa, they are there. Then I also want to recognize the presence of my husband. I hadn't done it because we were still waiting for everybody to be around, but though they have not come. I want to recognize, yes, because a man who allows a woman to be here and there is not a simple story. Yeah. Then we have our friend relative, Rosette, can be upstanding. Then we have also another relative, Patrick, be upstanding. Mrs. Were, you joined us late, you are there, come. Those are all our friends. I have also children, but only 2 have been here, Patience and Tracy. Those are our children. So we are now enough to start our business, yes. So Your Grace, these are the few people. We didn't do a lot of mobilization, but we wanted you to come and launch. After you have launched, it is our thing. So we shall continue thereafter. So thank you so much for coming. You members, Bishop was here before all of you. Exactly. So next time he says 4. You come at 3:45.
It is a very good initiative that Mrs. Gabo and Mrs. Kidulu are starting, because identity, you cannot mobilize before you know who is your ally. Also, who is your ally? So we need to start with identity.
Your Grace, all present, protocol observed. Permit me to talk while I'm sitting, because I'm an elder. Your Grace, I'll talk for a bit longer than short. I have come here, first of all, as an elder, as a Catholic. I've been a Catholic since 1948, as I told you. And all my children are Catholic. And my wife is a Catholic, that is Mera Sunka. She's been my wife for 46 years. And literally all my children, the 5 of them are here. And possibly one is not here, the youngest. The eldest is Anna, stand up for recognition. The second eldest is Joan, stand up for recognition. The third is Isaac, stand up for recognition. And Chris, Emily, the last is not here, she's doing exams. It's my first time to publicly meet His Grace the Archbishop. And I'm privileged, but I'm also privileged to meet Centenary Bank. The late Archbishop Odong is the one who came to us when we were young, but I was already working by then. I was in share. And he made us buy shares. And Your Grace, my shares have disappeared. I've looked for them in the centenary, they are not there. So the young corporate will explain where they have hidden them. Your Grace, I want to use this opportunity, since I represent government, to say that government has also been saving the parish government model. They have put in 5 trillion shillings. But my interest is in the elders. I fought hard, they gave us 10%. And the 10% of 5 trillion is 500 billion for 5 years. Therefore means 100 billion every year. And we have 10,000 parishes, and each parish gets 100 million. It therefore means 1 trillion per year. But the elders, out of the 100 million per parish, they get 10%, which is 10 million. And for us elders, since Uganda existed, we had never held so much money before us. Now, what I request Centenary Bank is to get involved in this money, because these people are opening circles where they will be given their money and where they will keep their money. Muganda agamba nti kamukamu gwe Muganda. Zena Milyango najja mu 1965 mu senior 1 nenvaayo mu 1970 sivangayo mu Buganda era nduddemu Oluganda ndusobola era ndwogera. Abaganda bantu balungi nnyo baaniriza era eno tuli multi-tribes, so tubakubireko mu ngalo. Your Grace, when I came, I didn't know what I would expect. But as you realize, when that lady, the Chief Lawrence, the one who addressed us, when he said, Beatrice, yeah, your talk is good. And I will invite you to address my elders, because they are also getting into the money market. They are not looking at money to buy cars, no. They are looking at money to buy sugar, to buy medicine, and so on and so on. You see, you banks discriminate us older persons. They say when you are old, you can't get a loan. I went to a bank to process a loan, and they said, you are over 70. You can't have insurance, you can't have a loan. She said, the man, they said, but I will try. But of course, I've been with Centenary ever since then. The Centenary don't know there's such a limitation. So let's clap for Centenary. For us old men there, we get loans, provided you have capacity. So now that the government has brought the parish government model and they want people to have accounts, I would advise Centenary Bank to take a great interest in the parish government model. In actual fact, it's going to be a lot of money, and you will gain as a bank. And also, you know, these young men, as you realize now, the government policies has generated more manpower than the jobs we have. So you find the fellow has graduated but can't help parents. But if government gives this kind of facility, the parents will be able to help themselves. So when I came here, I asked my wife, what am I expected to do? She wasn't clear. So when I came, I said, no, but I can't go without anything. I decided, I went to the bank, I drew some money. Before reaching here, I wanted to pay in $500,000. But the address impressed me, and I'm confident. I've never started saving. I'm going to start saving as a man and an old man. So instead of giving $500,000, I'm giving $1 million. So please, let it be received as a contribution from the elders who are optimistic that they are going to work with the Centenary Bank. Thank you, and I will say, Your Grace, may God bless you.
In my culture, when something good comes like this, no, thank you so much, thank you so much. Yeah, cash 1 million. May you continue to age gracefully and make more money. And you are looking so nice in your old age. Yeah. Being a Catholic since 1948, this is the gift. So I continue to be Catholic. Our keynote speaker has something to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much, our elder. Yes, I was interested when Mr. Kreska was saying, when do you stop saving? You never stop saving. Because you save, you invest, you create wealth. You have to keep on creating wealth, whatever it is. You must invest in your children, you must invest in people, and that kind of thing. I want to tell you a story. My mother was a teacher. She left employment over about 40 years ago. But she saved from day one. And whenever she was saving, she would build a small one room. So that is my retirement. Because I will not ask anyone of you to look after me when I grow old. So, by virtue of that, because she saved from when she was still a teacher, she managed to build a house at 80 years old from her pension in the village. And we were so overwhelmed without any of our support. He said, I will not ask you, but because of my small savings, she came to me and she said she will not beg us for money. But it shows you that you don't stop saving because you never know for how long you will live. She's now 85 years old. For the elderly, I will ask Charles Kabanda to speak about elderly and what we do at Centenary Bank. And then I will be able to make our contribution hard.
Grace, I'm also honored to be part of this forum. In Centenary Bank, as head of the Retail and Microfinance Division, I further the financial inclusion strategy for the bank. In that regard, I have the managerial oversight of all the channels through which we deliver our services. All the channels. The channels that you are more aware of are the branches, which is the brick and mortar channel, bricks, structures, which we want to call the main channel, and then the alternative channels, which are mainly digital, agent banking, phone banking, internet, other machines and that you use to reach your and access your account. That's the responsibility that I have. Financial inclusion, let me talk about that first, is meant to see that we make able, especially the vulnerable groups, to access affordable financial services. And the vulnerable groups include women in our country, the elderly, the disabled, the youth, the rural, the refugees, and other people that may be in our country may be disadvantaged in a way or the other, in one way or the other. And I want now to focus on the women. There are barriers that we really need in this forum to go knowing that they affect us more, especially the women of Uganda. You'll find that there's still a gap in access to financial services of not less than 10% between men and women in access to financial services, in access to traditional banking services. Now, in Centenary Bank, we try to narrow this gap. And one way is making it easier for you to access financial services, knowing that you are the women that are staying behind possibly in the rural areas or at home, in the gardens. We are using more of the digitalization. What we call digitalization is making it easier using other channels so that you can access financial services within your environment of work or accommodation. Because you go in the morning to look for money, rather to look for food for the family, we have agent banking in your neighborhood. You can save the 5,000, it is affordable, you don't have to go to the bank. That is maybe further away. We find that 75% of people that don't have accounts in the bank have cited distance as the key barrier, which everyone knows. And when we bring the agent that is closer to you, that understands your language, that speaks with you, that even sells you the groceries, that you can work with much easier, is your neighbor, or she's your neighbor for that matter. You can save more, you can drop that 5,000 that you would have used to travel to the bank. So the barrier of distance and affordability is removed. You can save much more and therefore use agent banking. Now you find that women, there's also a gap of I think about 40 or something % between men and women in access to phone banking. For so many reasons. You'll find that even in a home, when you want to make a call as a woman, you go to the husband's phone. That's if you can afford one. Or rather, that's if even the family can afford one. So, but this is one channel. This is one channel that we can't ignore. Access to internet, we don't even have to go that far. But you find that over actually right now 250 women, less than men, are not accessing the phone. So what are the 4 barriers that we've cited? That is worldwide. Coming to Africa, you'll find it much bigger even. One is lack of money. When you talk to a woman and say, I can't save, I don't have money. But you can call it lack of regular income. So when you move from here, think of generating more regular income. Find a way of seeing as a woman, have regular income as a woman, all right? Because even using the phone, the man will not access your money. I've heard and I've read cases where men, after the women have harvested, the money is taken as cash, so the man can access it. And you know how we behave at times. So when you keep it, and the bank using the phone to access your account using the mobile banking, what we call the center mobile and central bank, you can easily transact, save, even access it, make payments for bills, access payments for your harvest, pay for school fees. It's you women who are paying school fees in many homes. Do all that using what we have, like the school pay. The second are the legal issues. In some communities, women are not supposed to have anything like an account, leave alone having collateral to even borrow, or even have property. Yesterday I was with one of my drivers. He said, in our culture, I'll not say where he comes from, otherwise Madame Florence Kwesigabo could have a problem with me. But anyway, to say the truth, the man comes from that side. He said, for us, our sisters can't inherit anything. In fact, even when the father is giving out, the ladies, the daughters, are not supposed to ask to even get anything. To the level that even when they die, they are supposed to be buried at their, if she's still at home, she'll be buried at the peripheral. She wasn't supposed to stay here in the first place, so she has no room here. All right? So there's a lot that we can talk about under financial inclusion, but talking about SAID, this is the program that we have for government, giving hereditary some payments. Government has been so kind. Every month, the hereditary are paid 25,000, and Central Bank has been selected to do that. Through all our branches, we do this and we open accounts for them, and they can also access other services after they've had the account. We create these accounts, and we can even teach them how to do more financial management and access other funds through loans that they can afford to grow their income and also access other requirements, especially in their elder areas like medical services. That's what I can say about that. We are the bank that does that, and we do it all over the country. And we do believe it's one way which naturally comes to Central Bank being the bank that cares for the more vulnerable and has access for that. Thank you very much, Beatrice, for giving me the opportunity, and I give you the microphone again.
Thank you. Someone wants a mic? It is here. You want a mic? Oh, please. And you feel privileged to introduce yourself. Thank you.
My name is Rosette Mozigo Morrison. I am an international human rights lawyer, and I reside in The Hague, in the Netherlands. I am a family friend of the Kwesigabu family, and most Sundays I go to Christ the King, but most Sundays I go to All Saints Cathedral. Oh. So I am a Catholic who is not Roman Catholic. I was educated and bred and raised. In fact, many times I went to all Catholic schools. And in The Hague, I attend both the Anglican and the Catholic Church. So I'm giving a very humble contribution of $500,000 towards this noble cause.
Thank you. We are very proud and appreciated with you. Thank you so much. The microphone is available. Oh, there's a hand here. You want a microphone? Okay.
Thank you very much. Your Grace, I'm very humbled to be here, be with you. I know I'm the treasurer, but when we met you at your offices, one of the challenges you gave us is that for every woman that will be at the dinner, they should come with $1 million. And I said, who am I to refuse God's request? Therefore, I am contributing the $1 million that you tasked us to contribute. Thank you for gracing our event.
Thank you. Then just count the ladies.
Yeah, sure.
You just count the ladies.
I'm happy to be here. Your Grace, I'm happy to be here with you at least. My name's Immaculate. I don't know where you got it from. I don't know who might have whispered it to you, but yes, I am. Senior citizen, retired, but not tired. I'll not talk much, but being a woman, I'll contribute $1 million.
Very good. Thank you. Another man here who has saved for 30 years without picking even in the peak. From those savings, they are somewhere. Please, okay.
My praise is more of Mohammed Saudi.
Thank you so much. Your name? Patrick, 200,000 Uganda shillings. Secretary, can you take this book? My pleasure to speak after you with a lot of laughter. Thank you so
so much, Your Highness. I'm one of the most privileged people to be here tonight. My name is Margaret Kisa, retired teacher. I'm a senior citizen. But I said in the revolving funds. Has anybody has about revolving fund? Yes. What did he say? That little income. So my next revolving fund in the group I belong to in Ginger called Golden Ladies of Virtue will be $500,000, and I will sacrifice that to this cause. Thank you so much.
You see what women can do and what they can be.
I'm happy to have had Mrs. Mawege Florence. She's a very attentive girl. When we were meeting the Archbishop, she noted that point that all of us who were there qualified to find $1 million for the cause. I think I'm making the same.
She's imposing that I was also among them. So we are also going to recruit others. I'm also giving $1 million.
Yes, I was also in a meeting. I will bring $500,000. Okay, well,
Beautiful.
James Oliver from St. Augustine's College, Makiso, is pledging $1 million. May I also pledge on behalf of St. Augustine's College now to contribute 2 million shillings. Father Benedict Lawrence.
Kwesiimye okubeera wamu naawe essaawa zino. Amannya agange nze njo giyita Jomusha. Banzaala okusherenyera ng'ennyumba yibawulira batamanyi. Nze yakusooka njogere ku kigambo kya saving. Madam, twagira tusevinga nnyo naye temukyatuwa magoba. Edda twasevinganga ne mutuwaayo akasente tetusevinzeeko ne muterako amagoba. Naye kati temukyatuwa, instead mutusalako obusazi. Ekyo nakyo kitumalamu amaanyi. Nyongera okusevinga mu banka. Tusaba mutulowoozengako abaleseeyo obusente bwaffe. Tuserengako obusente obutono waaki. Tukole amagoba tujja kuleeta ezisingawo. Mwebale nnyo. Nange yakuwayo akasente katono, Mama Gidudu jakuwa
Before inviting the Secretary to speak, there's a lady who would like to say something. Please, thank you.
Your Grace, all protocol observed. My name is Laura Madaya. My dear husband is here with me. And I think he's proud of this woman who is standing. I just wish he could put up his hand if it's true what I'm saying. Yes. Glory to God. To Mrs. Gidudu, the President, we are proud of you. Thank you for mobilizing us as usual in the family. She's a very good mobilizer and coordinator. It's no wonder that she's taking this kind of responsibility and has been able to join her friend Florence to bring us together here. I'm a consultant, born Catholic, but now member of the Mothers Union. So I'm representing the Church of Uganda here. I'm a stakeholder, and I love women, I support women, I care for the girl child. Now, because I care for the girl child and the women whom I love so much, I've just requested for my permission for my husband. I'll contribute $1 million. Thank you very much. I wish you the best.
so much. Thank you so much. Oh, I'm really glad, eh? I liked her introduction, eh? You know, I will ask your husband, are you happy with me?
I know.
If I was here, I would put up the two hands because she's really, you know. Thank you so much. Musonyo, let me take the honor once again to invite you to say something to the people.
First of all, to wish you a very good evening. Good evening to you all. I got to apologize that I came in late because we had something that was necessary. One of our bishops has to go to Argentina. The thing became too difficult. So I had to be home. We had to communicate with various people. Eventually, at about 8:40, the Bishop of Soroti is going to Argentina for a meeting on Bible. So I had to stay. I told Florence, I'm sorry, I have to stay until when the Bishop leaves. The bishops tell me sometimes, in good times, they want me to represent them, provided I say what I want to say. So number one, I'm very grateful for this opportunity. I thank you for your patience. And of all people, I want to thank Florence. I think the only word that I can use for Florence, she's a go-getter. A go-getter means she stubbornly sets her heart on the thing, she obtains what she wants and wants to see effect. She's a very, very tough go-getter. She's been working in the Secretariat for over 10 years. But you can't say no to Florence. You have to say yes to Florence. When you say no to Florence, because of the challenges that you present, she will tell you, don't worry, I will overcome them. As a matter of fact, Florence is a lady from my place where I come from, Balisa, and she is related to me. She calls me her uncle. And I want you to know, this is the first time I'm using this word, uncle. It is not because Florence is related to me that I praise her so much, but because Florence does what is good. Over 10 years ago, when there was a huge secret all over the world, domestic violence, women were beating men, and men were beaten, and they didn't want to say they were beaten. In my village, if you say, a woman beat me, they tell you, what is wrong with you? You see, those were the challenges. Florence said, when we had a position through Troca or Trocare, and she was at Christ the King, she came for interview and said, I can do it. She's been working in that position up to now. And I must say, it's very difficult to replace Florence. Not because there are no other people, but because she does such a good work that you must appreciate the good work. And I always tell Florence, for continuity, you continue doing what you like to do and what we also enjoy, you doing and seeing the effects. Florence has been working mostly to restore the dignity of women and the family. She said we need an association of Catholic women. We said it is fine. The constitution was drawn and the constitution became effective. Because Florence is determined that this thing go on. I don't want to sing the name of Florence because then she becomes Hail Mary Florence. There is no need for me to recite the litany of Florence. But I want to say, the girl child owes a lot to her in the Catholic Church. Even the girl boy, now for us adult boys also, even the women, adult girls, are very grateful. But I know Florence alone could not do this work. She needed friends, a family of friends. The association has been set, the members are here, and you are promising to do good things. I'm going to transform Uganda. Even though I don't wear a kitenge shirt and the kaunda suits, etc., but I know Florence will ensure that I have one for my coffee. No, she will allow me to wear it. But since this is what she's planning, I know Florence alone cannot do this work. I want to sing a song of another great woman. She's here next to me on my right, Beatrice. I always call her Beatrice Centenary Bank. You just call her up and say, Beatrice, what is the next stage? She says, you say it. And you say ABC. She will say D is the next, and E is the next, F is the next, till you end with the letter Z, or as they say in America, Z. This is another good woman. I want also at the same time to acknowledge Mrs. Kidudu, who has been working with them to replace Florence, to wear a size 12 shoe, which Florence wears. Kidudu is wearing size 14. So thank you so much. In other words, what I'm saying, it is very difficult to replace you women. They tell me that in the Old Testament, the greatest women and the greatest players of human history have always been women. Take Esther. Is there any woman who can beat Esther? There were so many other women we could name. But Mary, even the old Elizabeth, such women were very powerful. Allow me to encourage this organization of women, which is growing throughout Uganda. But every growth means there is a pain, there is a pain. And I know there are pains and there are limitations. These pains and limitations are opportunities for growth. There are opportunities for becoming better than we are. One day I went to visit a nephew of mine who by accident happens to have all my names, except he doesn't want to use the D, so that is distinct from me. I encouraged him to assume all my initials, but he says, no, I'm going to be free by not putting a B there. Why? I used to tell him, the good you do, I would always say it is me who does good. And the bad you do, I will never count. But the bad I do, I would always say, it is him. He has all my initials. So my nephew says, no, that's not the case. So what I am trying to emphasize, great people go through pain, and pain is an opportunity for a new beginning, a continuous growth, and so forth and so forth. I went to my nephew who happens to be married to a Mukiga girl. The Bakiga elders had come on that day. The Teso were not there that day. And I thought it was a political move to keep this Teso out of the conversation. But eventually I learned the trick. They were trying to teach this child how to walk. And they were doing it in their Kiga language. And the little boy would walk and fall and then, and they would do it until the boy began to walk and so forth. Eventually, the Teso came in to say, we were also involved in the walking of this boy. Because I was present, so I represented them. I mean to say, the women who are here, now the ladies who are here, are representing the rest of the women in Uganda. And they are all singing the same song. We want the success of this movement. Thank you for accepting to play a game as a team. Because the key word is family. Now, the family in Africa is a very common expression. And our family is expressed by the words, I am, because we are. We are because I am. So we are all connected and interconnected. This is the best philosophy the whole world needs to embrace. They call it these days Ubuntu philosophies. Now, when you talk to a Teso man and talk of Ubuntu philosophy, he says, what is that? So I keep telling them, you see, Bantu is an expression for people. So the Muteso says, I am not a Muntu, therefore I'm not a person. But in other words, all of us are involved and all of us are part of this team. I want to thank you for agreeing. Very impressively, the ladies who were here offered whatever they could offer. I remember the story of the widow's mite, and this is what they have done. Some have given the best they could, others with the permission of their husband. But I know the husband was saying, I can't stand up, you talk on behalf of me. So I thank you all for offering whatever you could. Now for Centenary Bank, you were challenged by Mr. Gidu, the shareholder. He's wondering where his shares are. I keep telling him his shares are what Centenary is. That's another occasion for another talk. But for now, what I wanted to say was, thank you for being here and thank you for your generosity. There are only 3 qualities that I think are so good for you in order to take off. It is GCE. To me, G stands for generosity. And C stands for cheerfulness, because God loves a cheerful giver. And E is enthusiasm. So allow me to encourage you to be well known with all your qualities that you develop, but all for God and for our country. I know the church needs you, and you are the church. Without you, there is no church, and without church, you are not there. Church as a structure is a building, but church as an institution with God-fearing people, no one can define, for it is indefinable. There are people who say, I represent this or I stand for this group, but together we are there. All the Hajis who are fasting now, who couldn't join you, and the Hajjats. All of us are with you, and all we are saying is, every success unto God be the glory. And that famous song is what Florence always likes to sing. Maybe you, the master of ceremonies, you can sing one verse of that song to encourage them, and they will all sing. I want to thank you for your patience, and I want to thank you all for giving whatever you have given. When we meet next time, maybe I'll also give 1 shilling. Thank you very, very much.
I will request you to invite His Grace the Archbishop to say one.
I was told that there is a protocol you are observing, and I think the protocol is observed for very good political reasons, because you need a guidance somewhere. In the Secretariat, we also have what we call the heads of departments, and the heads of departments also play a role, and Florence works in the lay apostolate department. And that being the case, I would like to accept your honor, but with the deference to the rightful procedures, by suggesting that you sing that song first. Let the Archbishop gather the energy, and the person inviting him drink a glass of water. So to God be the glory.
Thank you.
I
can also sing another Mary loving Mother, Mary loving Mother, Mary loving Christian, Mary loving Mother, Mary loving Mother, Mary loving Mother.
God is good, and all the time.
The Lord is good, and that is the shower.
You notice that by protocol, not meant to say anything. I've been given what some humble people say, a great, they have to call it, a very difficult task. No, it's not, for me, since I'm not humble, it's not very difficult. It's only important to invite the guest of honor, who is the Archbishop of Kampala, but also the chairman of the Bishops' Commission for the Laity. Your Grace, I invite you to address the gathering.
Our Secretary General of the Assisi Conference, Mr. Kauta, and keynote speaker, Mwara wange, Beatrice Ugarambi Narongo. Our President, you have given me enough energy with the contribution to do the launching. First, I would like to thank the Seminary Bank for the knowledge that we have received tonight. I also learned a lot from both speakers from the Seminary Bank, and I would like to thank the organizers for making this decision to enlighten us, not only women, but also men, because we have all benefited from what they have said. And as the member of the Assisi Conference, with the largest share of shares, I'm very proud that we have got able staff that goes around the country and beyond. I have every confidence now that we are doing well if we have got such people who can ably and quickly and readily give the information that is needed for our customers. So thank you very much for this. I would like to thank you for giving us that knowledge, and I pray that the ladies and men here will take it home and use it. I would like to thank you for coming up today for this contributing mind. It's not easy to, I hope you are informed that this fundraising function. And when this fundraising function, that is the easiest event to avoid because of contribution, especially when we have economic trials and difficulties as we do now. But we have our heroes that have been able to come tonight and made contributions. Some people don't want to make contributions aloud. So I'm sure that some of you did not speak anything, because people will come around and get something from you because you prefer to do it quietly, especially in church circles that I know. But I would like to thank you very much for those who have contributed, and on the promise that I can do easily to pray for you, that you get more. And when you get more, when you give more. And when you give more, God gives you more. So this I will do. on behalf of myself and of the church that we serve. Thank you. I'd like to thank the ladies for this organization. Ladies, as you know, are more in churches, also more in numbers of ladies, but their contribution is even bigger. As a clergy person, I know that women or men can make a good contribution, and there are many men come to church to pray, but the ladies come and participate even more. So this is your church, and we are proud to have you as ladies to do the work as a church. We are in the process of solidarity. His Holiness the Pope initiated this process, which will be ending this year in October. We have a big meeting in Rome. And the theme is journeying together. Let us move together sooner in solidarity. Men, women, young and old, elderly and youth. That as a church we should all move together, journey together, and we have equal rights. And there are no people in this regard who are more equal than others. That we are all one, and God takes us as equally important, and is expecting the participation and roles of each individual of this church. I have seen this one here. I know that ladies in the church do a lot. Even, yes, our MC, we have got many skills in different dioceses, even in our office, our commission. But the women is beat us as men in participation, in prayer, in contributions. We are proud of them, but we are also grateful that they are doing that. We can only encourage them, because without encouraging them, we are the losers. So we have an organized group as this one. I think we need Madam Kidudu to be assured of our support as a church, and we will not stop. Because we know that if a lady is in front line, everybody, all the others will follow. So thank you for this, and we encourage you that you continue with the lead. These members have given us enough confidence that we can go on and acquire the uniform. We pray that when you go to Rome, that you'll be able to get the visas. You have told us that Kenya is sending 90, 92, and if had it not been for the late coming, the closing of the registration, we could as well take as many as 300. And Uganda is taking only 22, and we are failing. Failing because the visas are not readily granted. I don't know what is happening in Kenya, but I know what is happening in Uganda. Some 20 years ago, Uganda registered 120 youth to go to Canada, and only 20 came back. The rest disappeared in Canada. And of the 20, 18 were religious and priests. So those who were lay, only 2 came back to Uganda. Now the embassies everywhere, when it comes to visas, they remember that in Uganda that you have to be very careful. So I don't know how old these ladies are. Yeah? Very old. Yeah, but these days ladies are surprising us. They're doing things that they usually don't do. So they're being empowered. So I thought that was the reason. But we shall try to convince, I think, through the Secretary General, to convince the embassy through the negotiator that this is the visas that they need to go to. And when you go there, will you please bring blessings to us, to Uganda. Now for the contributions, I think, as I launch, I think I should make a contribution. I told you Mr. President is a friend. So a few months ago, he gave me a cow. Thank you very much. And the director where I took the cow says that now I have a calf. Wow. So I will ask the director to give us some money so that we can contribute. We will tell them the cow has given us, you must give a contribution because I launched and I need to put the money there. Now, since I asked the ladies to contribute 1 million each, I launched also with 1 million from his cow. I also would like to ask these two not to be idle participators, but to also say something about it. So because we have to journey together, as Pope Francis says, should we? Especially,
I promise I will do it the next time.
You will do the next time?
Yes, Father.
1 million.
For me, I came with them, you had forgotten me. When we came to see you, we promised 1 million each.
You came with them?
I came with them, so 1 million is available.
You are a man.
But I will give us a woman.
So, thank you very much. And with those words, I launch, I'm happy and proud to launch, what do you call it?
That market, we are going to take it to some place so that you launch it for real.
Okay.
That one there, they bring it.
You bring it here and launch it.
Yeah, that one.
Thank you very much, and thank you for coming me to the Archdiocese of Kampala once again.
Yes. Good.